Okay, are you ready to get started with our card today? This card is for our hand stamped sentiments challenge, and it's a color challenge this week. We're to use crushed curry, elegant eggplant, and old olive. The card, or it may or may not, I don't know if they were going to change it, the little picture that we use said Blackberry Bliss, but Blackberry Bliss is retired, so I'm using elegant eggplant. I'm also using the Thoughtful Branches bundle. We were talking about this the other night in the chat that we were doing. So I'm going to, some different ways to use this for fall, so I'm going to use an example from that. Let's get started. Okay, I'm using blue scrap paper so that you can actually see my white, but I've cut a piece of Whisper White that's 3 inches by 4 inches, and I'm going to be using elegant eggplant and crushed curry to add some color to my paper. I took the sponges that we sell and I cut them in half and then into quarters and then into an eighth, so it works out to be about an eighth. Sometimes I do 3 depending if I look at it, but then I take a retired punch that we have. It was the tab punch, and I punch out one in the color, and then I staple it onto the sponge and write the name on it, so I have a handy dandy little holder for the sponge. So I'm going to sponge on my background first. So I'm going to take, and I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to start off, and in a circular motion I'm going to come on and add some color. I'm not pressing hard, and I want it darker, so I will go back over it. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing with the elegant eggplant. I'm going to start here, and my sponge is not real good. It's kind of falling apart. I may need to get a new one. I'll be honest with you, I'm slowly switching to makeup sponges. I just like the look better than anything else. It has a lot of little pieces that if I don't get on there are going to take and go someplace else. But see how the sponge is you can see the lines. I may be pressing too hard. All right, now I'm going to take and I'm going to do the yellow down here. And I'm going to continue in this manner until my whole card is covered. Okay, I've got my card covered with my crushed curry and my elegant eggplant. Don't worry about what it looks like because we're going to be cutting this out, so it'll be fine. Now what I want to do is I want to take the top of my tree from the set, and let me move this paper so you can see a little better. The top of the tree, well, I guess you can see better with the blue. The top of the tree, and there's a little tab on it. That's just so that when you put your stamp on your block, you put that at the top, so then when you go to cut it out, you know where the how to line up the framelit. Boy, I can't talk today, but see, there's a tab on the framelit too, so that goes at the top. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my stamp, and I am going to ink it up, but this time I'm using the sponge daubers, and I'm applying color in various spots. Similar to what I did there, but I'm going to do these all over. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. We'll find out, but if it doesn't, I can still cut it out and it won't be a big deal. You kind of have to watch and make sure that you get ink on all of the petals. And again, it doesn't matter what it looks like when you put the ink on. Okay, and now I'm going to move this up so you can see. I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp this onto my cardstock. Okay, so you can't see the yellow here, but I'm still going to cut it out and see what it looks like. So I'm going to use my framelit and my Big Shot, cut it out, and I'll be back. Okay, when I cut this out, you really couldn't see the yellow on the purple, so I inked up the stamp and went back and stamped it again, and it was off a little bit, but that's okay. It just adds a little character on the with just the elegant eggplant. So I have that all stamped, ready to go. I kind of like doing two shades like this. I've done this with rose red and elegant eggplant, and it's gorgeous. I then took and put little dots of our Tombow glue on the back, and I've set it aside to dry. I took a piece of old olive and cut out the stem and the leaves and put little dots of glue on the back of that also. And then I decided to take and make my card. I was going to do a card base, but then I thought, oh, it needed something else. So I took a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 and I embossed it with the brick wall embossing folder, and then I added some elegant eggplant twine and some of our gold thread, and I just ran them together so it had a little bit of sparkle. And now I'm going to add my flowers, or my flower, and I'm going to put this one on first because I want it close to the bottom as I can get. And then I'm going to add my flower on, and I want some of that green to show, so I'm kind of doing that number and making sure I'm not sticking down my ends of my ribbon because I want them to show. All right, I need my card base, my envelope, and it's finished. Okay, I'm back. I tried my card on the crushed curry and I didn't like it. I didn't even try the old olive because when I put it on the elegant eggplant, it seemed to pop. So that's what I went with. I attached my card using tear and tape. I went ahead and attached my ribbon and my flower head and stem. So there's what my card looks like. And then on the inside and the envelope, I used the negative from when I cut this piece out, and I sponged in, because we don't have a stamp, I sponged in the stem, and then I used my sponge dauber and crushed curry with elegant eggplant and did a mixture on the stamp and stamped it. So there's the inside of my card and my envelope. I hope you enjoyed my card today.